Hi, I'm Jay Phelan. Let's talk a little bit about goal setting and productivity. You got into college, a great college, maybe your dream college. That fact can make it tempting to conclude that whatever your processes were for getting the things you want are, they're good and they're effective. Stay the course. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And there's certainly a logic that seems reasonable to that perspective, but I'd like to propose that you consider a slightly different perspective. The goals you were working toward previously, they were clear-cut, definable. They were important, but they were narrow. But guess what? Up ahead in the distance, believe it or not, is something much bigger, more complex, nuanced, and important. The rest of your life. What I mean, though, is that the methods and strategies that worked in high school, they won't suffice for this. As you make the transition to being a full grown-up, you'd have a spectacular opportunity. And that's to figure out, who do you want to be? Not simply a major or a career goal, but everything. What kind of person are you going to be? What kind of life are you going to create? After years of figuring out which hoops you're supposed to jump through, hoops that were identified largely by your parents, your teachers, your counselors, it can come as almost a surprise when you start to understand that this is your life and you're in charge. This shouldn't scare you, just the opposite. This should be exciting and fun. So let's get specific and focus on two questions here. Where do you want to go, and how can you get there? I'll start first with goal setting, and this can be as narrow as just about college. What do you want to accomplish in college? But it can also be, what kind of life do you want? What kind of person do you want to be? For the first part, here's some ways that UCLA students answered the question, what do you hope to achieve from your UCLA experience? These are things like achieve balance between your social life and academics, avoid burnout, build a network of peers and mentors, make lifelong friends, reflect on careers, improve discipline, get more self-confidence, have more money for hats and vinyl. All right, good goals. When you're spending time developing these goal lists for each area of your life, you want to make sure to have fun, and don't imagine that they have to be endpoints. They can be processes, things like, I want to explore the options that are open to me, or you want to learn about career paths that you've never been exposed to, or investigate fields of inquiry and subjects of academic study that are new to you, or reflect even just on why maybe you always wanted to be X, Y, or Z. There isn't one set of correct goals. The right goals are going to fit into your personality. People are very different, and so you have to investigate yourself as well as the world when you do this. Think about, what are the big life categories for which you have goals? I'll give you a few. These don't have to be yours, but things like academic work, or career progress, or fitness, or finances, or personal goals, any of those. Then for each, what you want to do is you want to come up with some specific goals. They might be explore options and decide on a major, or develop more effective study habits, or achieve some academic performance goals. For career progress, maybe develop a relationship with a mentor, narrow the list of job areas that you'd like to explore, or secure an internship in a field that you think you might be interested in. All those different things. And try and fill this out for all the different areas. It's not something you do it once and then you're done. It's something that is an ongoing process. The key thing to understand is that an unclear goal is going to be better than no goal, because it's hard enough to get where you want to go if you know where it is, but when you haven't even articulated where it is that you want to go, the likelihood of getting there is very low. You're going to want to revisit these goal lists, refine them, develop them over the years. So you want to give some thought to how can you best keep them? Should it be digital? Should it be in a notebook? Any of those are fine. The only important thing is that you decide on something that you can and will use. Then you can reflect on these goals, you can write them down, you can revise them, you can contemplate them, you can think about how you can move toward them. Let me tell you one way that this can really help you to get better outcomes. Let's look back at our career progress goals that we were thinking about. I had a student, Florian, and he decided he thought maybe he wanted to be a doctor, and so he shadowed a surgeon one summer. Saw what she did every day, saw how she spent all the hours and minutes of her work life, and you know what he learned? Much to his surprise, he learned that it was painfully boring. He couldn't believe it, but he thought, I can't imagine doing that as my career. I had another student, Alon. He dreamed of doing vision research. He was a biology major, and he got a lab job in a great lab that was doing research on vision. And what did he learn? He learned the same thing. For him, it was painfully boring. He didn't like the day-to-day process of doing research. You might think, oh, wow, that's tough. Those are both failures or big setbacks. And they're not. No, by exploring these things, they find out, oh, I didn't have enough information before, now I have some information, and I can make a more informed decision about what it is that I want to explore. You have to always remember that you and your interests are changing and developing. So by exploring and learning and reflecting on what excites you and brings you fulfillment, then you're going to make better decisions. Consider these jobs: software quality assurance engineer, physical therapy manager, database administrator, risk management director. Maybe you've never heard of any of them, but they were all listed among the top 10 happiest jobs in America and in surveys ranking career satisfaction. If you just moved towards a career that you thought that you always wanted to do before you even heard about these other careers that are potentially satisfying careers, then you've maybe missed out on something. Third aspect of goal setting that's pretty important is that you don't want to judge yourself that you're not making progress, or you've got the wrong ones, or you haven't thought them through. You want to just constantly strive to improve your situation. It's about improving, not where you are, but that you're making progress in the right direction. You don't want to give up just because you haven't succeeded yet. All right, so knowing where you want to go and who you want to be are critical first steps. There's a whole other challenge for you to address. How do you get there? This is where the all-important to-do list comes in. It sounds trivial, but it's not. Effective to-do list skills can be among the most important things for your success in life, believe it or not. Goals and tasks aren't the same thing. Goals are where you want to go, but tasks are the steps, the specific things you must do to achieve your goals. Each item that you put on your task list, it has to be aligned with your goals. It has to be something that you can measure and definitively complete. Can't check it off if it's not possible to ever be checked off. For maximum productivity, you want to think about having a list that's for the current day only. You want to break down your bigger tasks into smaller chunks. You have to decide what are the priorities. You want to include some fun things, so it's not just a list of the things you don't want to do or that you hate to do. Sometimes, if you struggle to get momentum, maybe start with the easier tasks. I think about this all the time. Have you ever put something on your list, your to-do list, that you already did, and then check it off? Eat breakfast, take shower. And you're like, yes, I'm making progress. Silly, but it highlights an important tactic for setting yourself up for success. Making progress is critically important. Now, as you're developing your to-do list strategies, there are a couple little exercises that can be helpful to do. One of these is called Track One Day, where you select a typical day and you block it into 15-minute chunks and you write down from the minute you get up till you go to bed every single thing that you do. That way you can look at where does your time go? Meals, classes, study time, leisure, errands. And the second of these exercises is called the quarterly time grid. You just write out all of your meeting times, class times, office hours, exams, papers, deadlines, things like that, so that you can lay it out. And then from that, you can try to add in the other things to help your productivity on the basis of the entire term. Now with time tracking, here are some examples, and you can see that as you lay it all out, it can become more obvious. Oh, where am I wasting time? Where am I not being as productive as I should be? Where are my expectations out of whack? Are there certain types of tasks that you always underestimate how long they're going to take when you're making your plan? Do you consistently lose focus around the same time of day? I get really tired every afternoon, and if I'm trying to do something important, I don't do it very well. So I try to use that time instead. I go to the gym. With your quarterly calendar, you want to look at it and make sure that the essential things jump out at you. And you want to think about, all right, how could I change this to maybe get better academic outcomes? This could be things like, oh, I see I've got a bunch of due dates all piled up or exams right next to each other. So spread them out a little bit. Say, all right, I'm going to get the work done for this other thing early. And if you've got it on your schedule just as that's when the due date is rather than the actual one, you can use your time more effectively so that you're not being so reactive, like, oh no, I got to pull an all-nighter, oh, I have to put out all these fires. And instead, you can portion your work time in a way that gets you the best outcomes. As you do all this, you want to keep organized records and you want to revisit your past list. What were you doing? What did you not do? What do you struggle with? You want to identify successes and failures, and you want to evaluate the effectiveness of your tactics. How is your process working? And then you revise them as necessary. I think about this all the time. Performance, feedback, revision. Performance, feedback, revision. With that strategy that you keep modifying how you make your to-do lists or how you make your goal lists, you're going to get better at them. And then you're going to be more efficient at achieving the things that you want to do, and you're probably going to have more fun in the process. So I hope these ideas and practices are going to help you to have the most satisfying, fun, and successful college years, and that they'll put you on the road to the best possible outcomes. You got this.